Okay, so that was our last, our first edit, and conveniently the playhead's been positioned at the last frame of the clip. You can see it's stopped. It hasn't carried on playing. It's stopped on the last frame, ready for us to bung in the next edit, the next clip. You can also tell it's on the last frame. On the canvas screen, you get this blue strip on the right hand side. That's just another indicator that it's on the last frame. Okay, let's choose another clip to edit. Okay, so if I double click the clip below, there's a different angle of the same action of them running down the corridor. It's just carrying on from where they left the screen in the last shot. So if we find a position which they enter the screen in this clip, so if I press spacebar, make sure you click on the viewer. Okay.
This, yeah, you work. Okay, ready? I'm gonna get out of the shot. Okay, go! Okay, stop. Becky, and Colin, look at. Sorry, slow.
Okay, so that's the other angle, the other camera angle, and what we want to do is edit in where we see the actors come into the room to try and escape through the main door. So if we go to the playhead, drag that back to the beginning, hit the space bar. Okay, stop there. I'm going to use the left arrow key to go back a bit. And I'm going to start the edit about here. I'm going to set up my in point here, just as we see Becky coming into the shot. So press I, that's my in point, hit the space bar, and then look for my out point.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be my out point. Actually, just before I start, because I actually announce the cut here, so I'm just going to pull back a little bit. And I'm going to set my out point just as Becky looks back at the door. Okay, so I press O, and this is going to be my second clip that I'm going to edit. So I'm going to drag that into the timeline so it matches up with the first clip, and we'll see how that looks. So if we click on the image, you can drag it into the canvas screen, but I've already done that. There is another way. You can actually physically drag it down directly to the timeline. And as you do that, you need to be careful not to eat over your first clip. Otherwise, you know, you'll actually overwrite. You'll basically overwrite what you've edited already. So if you just can snap it right to the edge of the last frame of the first clip that you edited, and let go, you can see when you let go, there's like a shadow appearing where your clip's going to be dropped in. So if I let go, there's our second clip that's edited. Okay, you notice if you look at the timeline, the video is indicated by a blue clip here, and your audio is green, which is separated by this audio video divider here. Okay, going across the screen. Okay, so let's see these two edits. Let's drag the playhead back. Okay, so that seemed to match up okay. We're going to edit the third clip. It's a shot where Becky looks back into the camera and sees the bad clone approaching the camera. So if I just double click this clip, there's a few takes of that action. Okay, this is the clip that we want. So it's a different camera angle, but we're behind the actors, looking at them trying to open the door. So if I hit the space button here, or just click on this button here.
Okay. Okay, and then the bad clone comes. Okay, you're still struggling? Hold it there, hold it, that's it. Open the door.
Okay, so we're gonna set an in point just before Becky turns her head to look past the camera. So if I just drag this back, drag the playhead back to the right position. Well, I'm going to set my in point here. So if I press I, and then look for an out point.
Okay, you're still struggling? Hold it there, hold it, that's it. Open the door.
Okay, that's going to be my out point. If I whack that in, so click and drag to the canvas screen and let go. The third way of doing this is if you click this button here, or press the shortcut F10. That's another quick way of getting it, your edited clip, or I mean your clip that you've marked with in and out points into the timeline. So if I click on the overwrite button, there it is. There's my third clip. Let's have a look at that.
Okay, you're still struggling?
Ooh. Okay, that didn't match up that well. Okay, this is where I'm going to have to perform and edit on the timeline. So if I go back to the second clip, you can see the second clip where they approach the door and try to get out. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to cut that down a little bit. So I'm just going to sort of find an out point on the timeline itself and make a cut. Okay, so if I position the playhead just further back a bit. Okay, just about there. Just want to find a better out point, probably a little bit shorter. Okay, let me drag it back. Probably about there. I'm going to set my out point here. Okay, so they've just arrived at the door. They're trying to unlock it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here and get rid of this section between the playhead to the right of the clip. Okay, I want to get rid of this bit here. Okay, but I need to make a cut between the video and the audio. So you can either get the blade tool. So if you go to the toolbar, there's the blade tool. You can guide the blade tool. You notice your cursor becomes this razor blade. You can click down directly above the playhead line that's going through it. You can see there's a playhead line. If you click down now, what that does, it makes a cut through the video and audio. Okay, and then you can click the arrow key back in the toolbar, or press A. A is a shortcut for the move selection tool, which is the most common tool that you'll be using, and B is a shortcut for the blade tool. Okay, but I'm going to go back to the move selection tool because I already used the blade tool. So press A, and then you can select the clip that you don't want. Okay, if I press delete, what that does is it deletes the clip but also closes the gap. Okay, so you can see that this clip here has now sort of shifted to the left to fill in the gap. If you made a mistake, you can press Command Z. So if I press Command Z, that undoes what undoes the delete that I did. Okay, I just want to show you another way of cutting a video clip, which is probably a little bit more easier than the blade tool, I find. I prefer using shortcuts. So what you do is you position your playhead in the right place. Okay, so it's in the right place there, and then press the control button and press V to cut. Okay, so if I press Control V, what that does, you can see it made a cut between my video and the audio, and now I can delete my clip. Okay. Right, let's see how that matches up. Move it back, right back to the beginning. Hit the spacebar.
Okay, you're still struggling?
Okay, I mean mean, that's not too bad. Probably could be cleaned up a little bit better. I probably can cut this a little bit more. Okay, can shave a bit off that. So Control V, just to make it a bit more tighter, and then delete that clip there. Okay, so you can actually clean up on the timeline, which is usually what you do. You sort of kind of have a rough edit to start off with, but then you start trimming it and then developing a final cut. Okay.
Okay, you're still struggling?
Unfortunately, I call out in the shot. What I could do is I can extend the audio in this clip to go into this clip here. Okay, or can add music, a different music track altogether.